a privilege, and it's an understatement, to be again on the TEDMED stage, witnessing all these brilliant people, all you brilliant people, serving humanity. For me, it all started the day I turned 5. My father was a Greek Egyptian, and he spoke in a very thick accent, rolling R's and buzzing Z's. My mother was actually a French woman who spoke in a thick accent too, so, already it's entertaining. To have two parents who have to ask to repeat themselves constantly. And the day I turned 5, my father was very dramatic and larger than life. Every day was an exaltation for Aristotle Diana Nyad. And he had Webster's Unabridged Dictionary open on the office desk, and he called me in, and he said, "Darling, I am so excited for this day because today you are going to understand the most important thing I will ever tell you. Come here, darling. Your name, my name, is in the dictionary. That's right. Tomorrow, you will go to your little preschool and you will ask your little friends if their name is in the dictionary. And they will tell you, no, you are the only one, darling. You are the special one. Come here. Listen to me. It says Nyad. My people. In Greek mythology, Nyad swam in the lake, river, fountain, and ocean to protect for the gods. Definition number 2. Are you listening to me, darling? Because this is the important one now. It says Nyad, girl or woman, champion swimmer. Oh my God, this is your destiny, darling. Well, now I was only 5, so I didn't take in the destiny part, and frankly never have. But I became a little swimmer, and I was swimming 6 hours a day, getting up at 4:30 every morning. Holidays included. I was doing 1,000 sit-ups every day, never ever 999. And right then, in my town of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the Cuban Revolution happened, and thousands of Cubans came flooding into my town. And it was magic. We were doing the salsa in their living rooms. I'm surprised I didn't do better on Dancing with the Stars, as a matter of fact. We were eating Cuban food, the Cuban flags were flying at my school, and there was a mystique about it. And one day, I was 9, I was with my mother at the beach, and I said to her, "Mom, where is it? It's out there somewhere, I know, but I can't see it. Where's Cuba?" And she said, "Okay, you come here, I'm going to show you. You lift up your hand this way. No, more this way like this. It's there, it's right there. As a matter of fact, it is so close, you could almost swim there." So I became this ocean swimmer, and I had achieved some notoriety in my 20s, but always that little vision was rattling around somewhere in my imagination. And as I started to research it, I found out that it wasn't just me. Many strong swimmers had tried the crossing since 1950. It's kind of the Mount Everest of the oceans. It is the vast, epic wilderness of our sport. If we were today to spread out all the nautical charts, especially equatorial Earth, on the floor here and pick out the most difficult crossing for a swimmer on the planet, it's Cuba to Florida. Not only is the distance undeniable, but the Gulf Stream comes raging out of the Yucatan Channel and is flowing hard to the east. And as it's flowing to the east at 4 to 5 times a swimmer's speed, you are trying to make it due north. And every little bit of easting and not northing means that you are never going to reach land. The Gulf Stream has swirling counterclockwise eddies in it, on the edges of it, very difficult to predict even with space telemetry. And once you get in them, you're lost. You're going to be going in circles and never ever get northing again. The east trade winds, especially in summer when you need to do this swim because it's warm enough to last in there for 2 or 3 days nonstop, immersed in a liquid below your body temperature. The east winds come from Africa and nothing stops them. They blow through the Florida Straits And the Gulf Stream is heading toward the east, and when that current and those winds hit, there are huge peaks out there. Even boats can't get across on most days. And if it weren't enough, the elements, then there are the sharks. These are dangerous. The bulls, the oceanic white tips. We use kayaks with electronic devices. We have divers who are brave. It's pitch black at night. They're in with me all night, never allowed to touch me, but they're swimming, and they're looking for two pairs of two luminous eyes underneath, and they're always there. The jellyfish, the box jellyfish, it's the most dangerous, potent venom in all of the Earth's oceans. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. The sting I received all over the biceps and around the neck, in between the legs and across the back, was paralyzing. You lose your breath. You think you've been poured into hot, burning oil. And I'm lucky I lived. It's usually a fatal sting. And I swam the 24 hours after that sting and stung the next night too. There are other body issues. There's hypothermia. There are hallucinations on the second night of the Cuba swim last year. The mind, even if the will is strong, the mind becomes very simple after a while. You're in that metronomic stroke. You don't see well. Sensory deprivation is at an ultimate compared to even all the other great ultra marathons around the world. And I thought on that second night as I was swimming that I saw the yellow brick road. And as I looked more carefully, it wasn't those people who are usually on the yellow brick road, Dorothy and the Tin Man, and that. It was the little guys with the little knapsacks marching along, and I stopped. I said to Bonnie on the boat, I said, Bonnie, do you see the yellow brick road and the little 7 dwarfs down there? And she said, oh yeah, I see them. And she said, you know what the great thing is? They are going right where you're going. So you just follow them the rest of the night. Yeah. And the rest of the night, I saw them. They kept me fascinated, really. Helped me spend a lot of time. And as I would turn my head to the left to breathe, my right ear would dip under, and I would hear them, kind of faintly, but I heard them. Hi-ho, it's off to work we go. So I tried in 1978, 42 hours, raging seas. It's very difficult to predict the weather. Several shark bumps. We couldn't get visas back into Cuba the next year, nor the next year after that. I was starting to, hit 30 years old. It was time to go to work, and spent the next 30 years as a sportscaster and pursuing love and the pursuit of happiness. But every time I'd watch a swimmer try to make it across, I like to think of myself as a sporting person. When they would fail, I'd do a little happy dance at home, thinking, well, the dream is still out there for me. I turned 60, and I just was choked with a kind of a life angst. Was I the person I could admire? It wasn't about sport and records and Hall of Fame for me anymore. My mom had just died at 82. Dors bien, maman. I wanted to feel some unwavering commitment again. I wanted to feel alive. I wanted to tap every ounce of potential in me and surround myself with people who felt the same sort of high. And it was all about Cuba. Cuba represented to me living life large, and I went to chase that dream because it's never too late to chase our dreams. And I failed, and I failed again, and I failed again. And after the 4th time, this event was stamped impossible. The sports scientists, and the sports nutritionists, the historians, the marathon swimmers, all came to me with their empirical data. You can't be swimming in the supine position and take in nutrition for for that long a time, immersed in salt water. Even my team, they were still with me, but at every meeting, somebody in the back would say, Diana, have you looked at Guam this time of year? It's just lovely. But I had faith. And the one thing that all this science wasn't producing was the power of the human spirit. So there we went, and we stood on the Havana shore one more time at Marina Hemingway. And Bonnie, my head handler, grabbed my shoulders, and she said, let's find a way. The first day was magical, singing my songs. We were making good progress. The first night was hell on earth. I wore a silicone mask to protect myself from the jellyfish stings, and I hold that mask so tenderly today because I never would have gone back without it. But I was vomiting constantly all night in the mask. I lost a lot of weight, didn't feel well. And in the morning, the animals are up at night, the box jellyfish. In the morning at dawn, I could take off all the jellyfish gear and swim free again. That second night, I wound up in trouble, and I was kind of hanging on by a thread. I saw the Taj Mahal over here, just grand. And I couldn't, get detached from that and remember what I was doing. And Bonnie kept calling to me, and then I was cold because I wasn't generating the metabolic flow anymore. And Bonnie called me over, and usually I'm not told where we are because there's a long way to go no matter what your GPS marking says. And Bonnie calls me over, and she says, come here. You need to know this. Take a look over there toward the horizon. You see that little white filament? And I said, put my goggles on my forehead, and I said, oh my God, the sun's coming up. I can get the jellyfish gear off again soon, and the sun's going to warm me up. And she said, it's better than the sun. Those are the lights of Key West. I waited 35 years for that vision to come true. And walking up on that shore, and it's still the same today, true, a year later, is that I didn't feel some big ego rush like I did this. First of all, make no mistake, we did this. I had a team, and they were dedicated, and they were proof positive that perseverance and the soul of friendship can get anything done. We walked up onto that beach. It would be silly for me to look out at you, San Francisco, peace out, and try to give you any advice how to live your lives. Clearly, you're type A personalities, accomplishing, achieving. But I'm living proof, and my team is living proof. That whether it's your profession and you're up against it and the innovations that you want so badly to push through or being stymied in some way in your personal relationships and your health, if you want to reach that other shore of yours, you will find a way. I don't know if you're familiar with the Henry David Thoreau quote, but this past year, it has rung true for me so profoundly. And it goes something like, when you achieve your dreams, it's not so much what you get. And my goodness, how humble could I be as to what I've been getting this last year. Nassim mentioned the memoir and the one-woman show, and I'm now putting together The Walk. We're going to walk, Bonnie and I, across America with 1 million people. And when we arrive here in the Washington Mall, we're going to say, we have made ourselves sick in this country with obesity and diabetes and heart disease. And today is the day when we reach the mall here that we are going to become a nation of walkers. We're going to walk after work. We're going to walk to school. We're going to walk together. We're going to walk alone. And in the next decade after that, we are going to watch hiking trails be developed and sidewalks built and showers at work where you can walk with an ergonomic backpack. And we are going to watch all those numbers of diabetes, et cetera, go down and down and down. And people like McDonald's are going to be in with us because they're going to produce responsible foods. And the end of that quote goes, when you achieve your dreams, it's not so much what you get, it's who you become. How proud am I to stand in front of you and say to you that I'm a person who never, ever gives up. Again, it's my privilege to be with you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.